Hi, good evening, everybody. It's Trevor McAfee here from Dynamite Giveaway with our first live webinar hangout with my friend John Paduchak, which is my friend that's really got me interested in doing live hangouts. So I'm glad that he's here to kind of talk about hangouts and list building and all kinds of good stuff tonight. So welcome, John, and thanks for being here.
Hey, thanks, Trevor. I'm glad to be here, and yeah, we're gonna have a great time tonight. Looking
Oh,
forward
for
to it.
sure, for sure. So I guess we'll just start off. Just if you want to give a little bit of a background of who you are, where you kind of came from, what you do, because what you do is a little different than most, and how you build your list and things like that. So yeah, give us a little bit of
That's
background about you.
absolutely love to. Well, you and I kind of started out here together, in a
Yeah,
sense, because we both found ourselves in one of the same mastermind groups getting started online. And
yeah,
so I started out with Trevor, and that's how Trevor and I get to be good friends. And gosh, I want to say it was about May of last year when I really started getting bit by the Hangout bug. I'd been involved in offline marketing and, did a lot of work with my wife's website and, I had a couple sites of my own, but Hangouts, man, it really excited me when I first saw it. We got some training on it, and I learned with Mike Filsame when we were getting started. And, of course, Ted and I started out about the same time, too. And that's how Ted and I got involved together with working at Google Hangouts. But it was funny, as we went along, I was starting to create a product on Hangouts, and Ted was looking to do coaching with Alex Mendosian. And as things worked out, the coaching thing fell through for him. The product thing wasn't quite working out for me because it turned out that Google Hangouts had so many different things to kind of pick up on. We kind of teamed up on it because it just really seemed like two heads were better than one where Hangouts was concerned, and Google Plus and YouTube and hey, new changes every week, every other day, and so that's kind of how we started out. And then with all the telesummits and everything that we're doing, we put in our time of really jumping right into Hangouts full bore and really learning the ins and outs of it.
yeah, good, good. Yeah, you and I kind of started the same thing, doing some list building at the same time, doing some giveaway events, all kinds of stuff we were into. So and you got me on the bug of doing Hangouts. I know it took me a little bit longer, and you kept trying to convince me to do it. And I finally did it, and they're a lot of fun. I've had some really good guests so far. We had Ted pull on with us. I pulled him onto
And
one of our webinars with us there out of nowhere, which threw him for a loop, but that was great. And they're a lot of fun. So looking forward to having some good night tonight and getting some good information. So I guess we'll just kind of start off since we're talking about list building. It's a list building event. Want to be social.
sure.
So let's talk a little bit about list building. So what makes you want to build a list? What's the importance of building a list?
Well, I think I'm going to turn this a little bit in a different direction with not just so much what's important about building lists, but kind of how to build it with Hangouts and kind of what I've seen with it. And the reason you really want to build a list is it's really getting people where they live. Everybody lives in a different place. They may live on Facebook, they may live on Google Plus or Twitter or wherever it is. So you kind of have to meet them where they are. But email is always like the main place that you can bring them into. You can always bring them to your list. It's the one place where you can interact with them. And I really try to interact with people in two places. I try to interact with them as much as I can on video, and sometimes I even incorporate video into my emails, which you may have seen me do as well. Because one of the things that I love about video is that it really gets people to know, like, and trust you fast. And I don't think I ever told you this, but I met my wife in a video dating service.
Oh yeah, no, I
So
don't.
yeah, I
You
don't
might
think
have
I've
said
ever
something. You might have
told
said something.
you that. Maybe I have. So to me, when I look at video, I go, man, video was such a deal breaker. I mean, I could tell by the video whether it was somebody I really wanted to meet or not, and I think the same is really true here. So to kind of tell you another story along the line of this, I actually got to meet with two or three of my students down in Connecticut, and we'd never met before. We'd only really interacted through video. And the thing that was amazing to me about it is we met, we went out to dinner, we had a couple beers. It was like we were long lost buddies. Like we went to, you'd think we were friends since high school. It was just amazing. And we never met each other before, very first time. So video, especially face-to-face video like we're doing here, I mean, you can really get people to know, like, and trust you in like no other way possible. So to me, that's really the power of video, power of Hangouts, is that face-to-face meeting. It's just like you and I are meeting right here in my living room.
Yeah, no, I agree. And you always hear that the know, like, and trust thing, and um, getting out there is important. But yeah, breaking through
Yeah,
to get people to know, like, trust you, like you say. You can deliver your message a lot better. A face to a name, they always say, which is important, right?
hugely important.
You
And
can
it's great
read,
for your branding because it associates your face with everything you do. Now let's go the next step. Let's talk a little bit about, great, so now we're doing video, we're getting people to know, like, and trust us. How do we incorporate it into our list building strategy? Well, YouTube, I mean, it's like what, the #2 search engine.
Mhm,
Google's #1. So if you
mhm.
rank well on Google and you're creating videos on a regular basis and you're incorporating what we call annotations and always bringing people back from your videos to your site, makes list building work out pretty good. So it's a great way to kind of get people's interest, get people liking you, get people coming back to your site, and then they can interact, and pick up things that they like from your website or interact with you there. So
Yeah,
it works out really well.
yeah, no, I agree. And just to touch on a couple things about communication too, I mean, really only 20% of what we say is communicated. Like everything else that's nonverbal, your facial reaction, how you react to things is a big part of how we communicate.
Yeah.
And you can't really communicate effectively, just through an email. There are techniques to do it, and a lot of people are really good at it. But video, and you can get your message out there, and they can see how genuine you are or ungenuine you are, I guess, through your video. But yeah, you've got some really unique things that you do,
Yeah.
um, for building your list. So let's talk about a couple of those things that on how you add people to your list, I guess, through video. Like I know you rank your videos. You have a good strategy using Google Plus, which I think a lot of people underutilize. Don't use Google Plus
Right.
as much, and I know I'm kind of guilty of that. I'm in there from time to time, not using it as much as I should. Um, kind of like you said, oh, did you create the event? Did you put it in the calendar? All that kind of stuff. And I haven't done that effectively enough to get these out there. But I think you have a pretty good strategy and understanding. So maybe let's, maybe have a little bit of look at that. I'll thank you for the picture.
You're welcome.
I
Now
should have known that was coming.
you're probably wondering why I did that, aren't you?
Yeah, I
So
am.
the other thing that we're really trying to do is, obviously pictures are powerful, and using them while you're doing Hangouts and being able to incorporate them into your list building and social media stuff is great. In fact, we just interviewed a friend of ours, Rob Maggs, who came out with Quote and Ted and I were fortunate enough to get in on his beta and utilize it. And man, it's amazing. You use these little hangout pictures, and you get seen with different people, and you create little memes. It was like Talk Like a Pirate Week a couple weeks ago. Quite a couple weeks ago.
I saw that. I did
So
see
I took some pictures of Ted. He dressed up with his little Google Effects pirate hat, and I got some pictures of him, and I put that out. It's fun. So it's all about being creative and using social media creatively, using your videos. People love videos. They interact well with videos, and like I said, it's great for your branding because people get to see you.
Mhm.
And Ted will tell you that you don't see people who don't want their face shown in front of the camera on video
Right.
because they're trying to hide something, is really the reason for that. So you're going to find that more good, honest people that you can interact with are the ones that are really focusing on video because it plays well for them. So and I've gotten people coming and interacting with me through video like never before. I mean, I couldn't believe some of the stuff that was going on, especially when we were promoting Webinar Jam. The way that we were, we had people just coming out of the woodwork interacting with us.
Yeah, which
Videos.
is
It
what
was
we're
very
using
cool.
here.
Yeah.
And you're the one that kind of got me onto this too. I know you guys did a lot of training with that, but yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Getting to be seen, um, being able to interact, I think, is a great thing. It's great for content building, which a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people use it for. I do a lot of that. I've got it in the Mega Marketing Hangouts site, where we're putting all our recordings in there. And I think a lot of people are afraid to get in front of the camera. I'm not sure why. I guess it's a little nerve-wracking, I guess, but I think they're afraid to get out there and put themselves out there. And I think this business is just about putting yourself out there. Um, I've done interviews with some pretty big names in the industry, and all I've done is just ask. I've
Me
done it with
too.
Jane Mark, which is probably one of the premier marketers that's out there today. She's got all kinds of sites, so cool.
Hmm.
On your list, all kinds of things like that. Dan Moses, which is a launches a lot of programs. I got Jason Benoit that we've had on before you and I,
Right.
and he's agreed to do another one with me. I got John Thornhill lined up, so they are willing to do them with you. They
Hmm.
know what it's all about, and they have no problem sharing their information. And I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, and it's good. It's especially good for content because I mean, how often you get to be seen with Joel Comm and
Hmm.
Steve Rosenbaum and David Perdue. The list goes on and on. And so every time we're seen with another expert, that expertise kind of falls over on us a little bit. So it only looks good too for our branding and for being seen with other experts in our field.
Yeah, because
So
I mean
good for a lot
the
of things.
interviews, yeah, the interviews that I've done with Dan and Jane and Darren Olander as well. Like we've got
Sure.
some unique stuff that they give you live, and it's recorded, which is the best part because you can go back to it over and over again. But stuff that they don't just generally put out there. You can ask the questions that everyone wants to know the answers to.
Hmm.
Um, I think it's a great opportunity. Everyone, webinars are a huge tool to leverage, but it was a huge cost, with GoToWebinar and other services like that, where Google Hangouts is free. You
Yeah.
can use it for free, and it's recorded. It does a great job, I think, and it's worked for me.
Yeah, so I mean, you've got Google Hangouts to appeal to the smaller audience, and then you've got things like Webinar Jam to really interact with a larger venue or a larger group of people. So I mean, we really have all kinds of tools to allow us to do super well with Hangouts, whether we want a private group coaching all the way up to a webinar with 7,000 people on it. So you can do a lot of super stuff with this.
Yeah, the cool thing is you can have multiple people on. It's not just, and even a lot of the go-to webinars, it's just a presentation. You don't actually get to see the person presenting what they're, the content they're giving. Where now you can have
Exactly.
a panel of people. I think you can get up to 9 people or whatever it is. But it's getting your message out there. You can build authority. I would like you to talk a little bit about how you use Google Hangouts, how you rank them a little bit, and then how you
Okay.
transfer those people onto your list. Because I know we were just talking before we started here that I'm not, that's something that I would like to learn from you as well, and how you
Okay.
translate those people over.
Okay. Some of it we rank just evergreen. So some of the promotions are going directly to whatever we're affiliates with, but others it's just like I said, you bring them back to your site where you usually have a review, and you could have some kind of a list builder there where they can learn more about the product or pick something up on it. So you can kind of set your videos up either way, to go directly to what it is you're reviewing or to come to a review on your site. So we're doing both of those things,
Okay,
depending.
so sorry not to cut you off there, but
Yeah,
so let's say we finish this video tonight. Like, what's the best way to get this ranked for whatever it is? Let's say list building, for example.
it's a great question. So the way that we go about getting them ranked, and we did this actually with Dennis Becker the other day, we set up our webinar jam, and before we even start, we already know the URL of the Hangout. So I set up a blog post, and I embedded it in, and we actually had the video ranking before we even started the webinar.
So before it even went live, you
Before it
started to
even went
rank that
live, we,
sucker.
we, we were ranked on page one for like Hangouts Made Easy. It was just a fairly easy term, but for Hangouts Made Easy, we were ranked right on the first page of Google before it even started. So,
So you just put that. Sorry, go ahead.
and that's a combination of using posting to your blog, embedding, adding a little bit of an article to it, and then using Onlyware. So we use Onlyware a lot along with it.
Okay, social bookmarking, pinging, all
Yeah,
that kind of stuff. Okay,
correct. So then I
okay.
post it to the blog or in Tumblr and a couple different places. So it does that all at once, and bam, you're ranked like usually within 3 minutes. I'm showing
Wow.
up, yeah, first, second page of Google, depending on your keywords. And you usually shoot for longer tail keywords, and then you start to rank for better terms as the more videos you put out.
Wow. And it automatically hosts to YouTube. So YouTube's obviously a big factor in that because it's linking back to
Yeah,
um, a very high-ranking site, obviously, that's connected with Google, so you're going to get a little bit more of a ranking. You're getting a little bit of a bump from there. So that's good. So then you
Right.
just kind of direct it back to a, I guess a squeeze page is not something that, like, I know Google doesn't like those, so it goes back to a blog post with a link on it for like a squeeze page, or not a squeeze page, sorry, just a list
Yeah.
box where you can put your information in
Or,
there to capture information.
or a landing page of some kind. But to be honest with you, I think you could direct them back to anything. I don't think it would be an issue to direct them back to a squeeze page or whatever, as long as it's on your site.
Right.
Because using YouTube annotations, you're verifying your website with YouTube, and you could send them pretty much anywhere you want on your site. So sure, you could send them to a squeeze page if you wanted to get more information, or direct to the offer, or through a list and email, whatever you want. Wide
Nice.
open.
Yeah, because I'm assuming that you use a lot of Google Plus. I know you have several
Do.
communities. So how is that integrated, and how important is that? To start some of those communities, start networking there to make this, video content marketing, more effective.
The communities, like I said, it's kind of getting to interact with people where they live or where they spend most of their time, and then bring them back to your list. So we try to get people on multiple fronts. So we've got Skype groups, we've got Google communities, Facebook pages. We just try to interact with them where they live, and work them back into our funnel or work towards our list. So it works out pretty well.
Okay. So if I'm on the webinar watching this later on,
Hmm.
so what would be the biggest things that I would need to get started? So, I'm convinced now that I need to do video. I'm convinced I want to do Google Hangouts. What kind of things do I need? Obviously, a Google account, all that kind of stuff. But what kind of key things do I need to really get started to make this, a big part of my marketing plan?
Probably the big things that you really need to get started is you have to commit to really doing a hangout a day, or creating a piece of content a day. And you can do that a number of different ways. But Hangouts is certainly the easiest to do that. You just create a 2-3 minute hangout, and bam, you got a piece of content for your site, which is pretty simple. And then the other thing you really got to commit to is testing and practicing and perfecting your performance here. Because I see so many people, they say, "Oh, I got a webinar coming up. I'll just set that up and blow it out." You know what? Hangouts are simple, but they're not easy. There's a little ramp up time to get into them. So I mean, you want to make sure that you have practiced and that you're ready to go, and find a buddy to kind of work with that is both maybe an accountability partner and kind of pushes you along as you go. And the next thing that you really need to set up on Google Plus is your About Me, or all about you. So you can have your sites listed there, and I look at that as like my calling card online. If you look at it, I've got a story about me. People really get to know me before they even meet me there. So, and it's got all my sites listed. It's got all my communities. It's got all my sites, my YouTube channels, everything. So you can find pretty much everything that you want to know about me on Google+. And then the next thing you need to do is you need to set up your YouTube channel. And the best way to do that is create a little teaser video that gets people excited about coming to see what you got to offer. And same thing, getting the graphics and branding right, and making sure that across your YouTube one channel, it links to other things that you are part of, your Google Plus page, your Facebook, your Twitter, etc. It's all about kind of wrapping it all together and bringing it back to the same place. And that's really the easiest way to kind of get started. You just got to have those things in place, and the rest is just rolling up your sleeves and digging in.
Cool. No, those are some really good tips. So when you say make content every day, in 2-3 minute videos or whatever that is, what kind of stuff, what kind of content are you talking about? Like what would be good to kind of put into those? Like, I don't need to get somebody on. It's just something I could record myself, right?
Yeah, it's something you can record yourself. I mean, one of the things that's really popular now is kind of the over my shoulder style videos. So think about something that you use that other people might benefit from, and show it off. So we show off a lot of products that we're affiliates of. We talk about list building. We talk about YouTube, Google Plus, share little tidbits of information. And anything that you would writing a blog post, you can do in a video.
Okay. Yeah, because I mean the good thing about Google Hangouts is you can integrate it with several different things.
Yeah.
I know when I buy solo ads, I like to do a review after that, kind of showing my results so I can share my screen or record my screen. I know it works with MindMeister, so if you're doing mind maps and things like that. So there's all kinds of different applications, different things that you can do with your screen and share. So I think that's a great tip. So as opposed to having to write a blog post, which I don't really like to do all that often,
Me
I don't do
neither.
enough of. Yeah, I know. I would rather just record a video and put a video up there. And if that's going to be the kind of what I can do as opposed to writing something, I would probably prefer to do that. And I think
Me
most
too.
people probably would.
Yeah, and people like video blogs. And then the next thing that you can do is repurpose that, pull out the audio, and do what we call hangcasting, where you convert your Hangouts to podcasts, and then you're on iTunes. So you
All right,
then
so let's talk. Okay, so let's talk a little bit. Cause I didn't expect you to bring that up. Let's talk a little bit about handcasting. I know you've thrown this term out to me before.
I've thrown this term out to you before.
Yeah,
Well,
and I kind of know it's related to this, but let walk through and explain to everybody, including myself, what
Sure.
exactly handcasting is and how do I get involved in that and how do I kind of benefit.
Well, really in our business, what it's all about is syndicating your material in a number of different places. So the two biggest places right now to put your content, if you're on video and video is easy to convert to audio, would be obviously YouTube, which is where Hangouts are sent to, and then iTunes, because iTunes podcasting is huge. In fact, when we had James Schranko on a while back, one thing he said to me one day that really caught my attention, he said 85% of my traffic comes from doing podcasting. Now, that's a big thing to hear from somebody like James Schranko. And I know that's true with a few other people. And if you look at podcasters in general, some of them are making a good six-figure monthly income from their podcasts. So we looked at this and we said, wow, well, Hangouts, man, we're on YouTube, but how can we repurpose it? So we're repurposing it, as content. And we're repurposing it as podcast. We just pull out the audio. We get some different ways of doing that, and we syndicate it out to iTunes, and voila, handcasting is born.
So
it's just
have you
podcasting with
trademarked that? Yeah, have you trademarked that handcasting yet?
And I have trademarked the name. Yes, I have.
That is spectacular, because I know you've thrown that term out to me a couple different times. I knew it had to do with podcasting and things like that, but I didn't realize how intricate it is. So, and again, I guess you use those, through iTunes back to a website, that kind of stuff, to kind of grab names and
correct,
subscribe to channels and all that stuff. So, do they subscribe through the channel itself? Like, are you able to communicate through the iTunes channel?
They don't so much subscribe through the channel itself as they're working off of a call to action in your audio. Okay. So in other words, you're saying, hey, Trevor, thanks for joining us today. Obviously come back and we've got an offer or not an offer, but something that goes along with this broadcast. If you'd like more information on what we talked about today, come see us over at hangoutsmadeeasy.net, blah, 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 and they'll do that. So that's really the way to build the list and do all of that through iTunes. And one thing that was really cool about it is one of our students, they usually say a good rule of thumb is 1,000 downloads in your first month. She had 1,000 downloads in her first week of podcasting.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was pretty exciting. So she did really, really awesome, and we were like super proud of her. She took everything we did and put it into action, and she's cranking, getting very, very good results. She's so excited she can't stand herself. So it's pretty cool. And this girl, she was working with somebody in a studio doing her YouTube videos, and this guy goes, you can't leave the studio setting. You'll never make it. It's not going to work for you. And she just stuffed it right up his wazoo. It's awesome. So she just stuck it to him and showed him, which I love.
Yeah, so, that's great. So there's another avenue that I'll be going down that we'll be speaking more of clearly. But no, I think you've given some good information here on how to get involved in video marketing. The tools are there; they're free. You just need kind of a little webcam, I'm sure anybody in the industry would probably be willing to help you out and do an interview or two or three or whatever it is. You know, so it's real quick to get up and easy. It's real quick to get ranked. You got some good information on getting ranked. Kind of create your own community. And tie it back to a squeeze capture form of some sort.
Mhm.
I think that's really good information.
And it's
So
not all about interviewing others. I mean, you see some people who just pick a great topic and they'll do, solo broadcasts by themselves. Although my thing is, I think you would still want to have a guest on every once in a while because people get tired of hearing just your voice.
right.
I think after a while they want something a little bit different.
No, I
So,
definitely agree with you there. I think by teaching and training and giving good information, that good information and training does come from interviewing others and providing things
mhm,
that you learned, right? Here's
absolutely.
what I did last week, and this is what worked for me. I got 100 subscribers this week or whatever it is on whatever little trick or traffic technique that you used or whatever the case may be.
Yeah. And I'll
Anyway,
tell you, a huge amount of some of the stuff that I picked up was just through the telesummits that we did. David Frey was telling me how he got people to interact with videos on his site. Nicole Dean was telling me about her podcast, and it gave me some ideas for some of the stuff that I'm planning to do. James Schramko gave me the tip about traffic. So I mean, we pick up little things from interviewing other people and doing that stuff, and it's some of the stuff, some of the information is priceless. You may not think it at the time, but later when you reflect on it, you just kind of go, holy cow, that was like a gold mine I got out of that one. And that's another thing, we're going to bring back the telesummits again. So that's going to be the next thing you'll see me doing is a lot more telesummits over the next couple months.
nice, nice. And you know
So,
what? The thing is there, like just like you said about getting some of that industry gold. I had Dan Moses on, and I had
mhm,
Steph on there, my partner on one of my other sites there, and
right.
he threw something out that I was just floored. It probably stumbled me for about 3 or 4 minutes. I couldn't get over what he said, and
Yeah.
all I just kept saying was "That's gold," and
Yeah.
I couldn't. And you get some of these little ninja tricks and gold tips, and it's something else. And
Yeah.
you kind of keep those to yourself, and within the community, like I put all mine in the Mega Marketing Hangouts site there.
Hmm.
I kind of keep them to a kind of a closed door to a certain extent, members only kind of thing.
Sure.
But I want my members to know, and things that work for me that I've got from I'm using my resources, my time, my contacts to kind of deliver something good that's obviously helped me and that's helping others, and that's
Right.
where I want to take it and help everyone. You kind of throw it out there. Somebody helped me, I want to help somebody else. And that kind of moves down the chain. There's enough in it for everybody. There's the internet's huge. There's lots of things that we can do. A lot of people partner up, work together. You and I have worked together on
Hmm.
numerous things.
Yeah. Plenty of space
And
for all of us.
exactly. And the more fun you can have at it, I think the more fun it is, and people see that it's fun, and they gravitate to you. And we can definitely deliver a good message that way. I think that's great.
Well, life's too short not to be having fun.
Well, that's true. That's true.
So.
That's true. So I'm going to kind of wrap it up a little bit. We've been on here, I don't know, a half hour or so.
Okay.
So a couple different things. So I'm going to ask you, I know you've got your Hangouts Made Easy. I know you got a few products going on there. So talk a little bit about your products, and then underneath this video, when it's on the site, I'll put some links to your products, and I'm sure John will hook us up with some deals like he always does.
Oh yeah.
But talk a little bit about Hangouts Made Easy, because I know that's going to walk through anybody really wanting to start getting into this to be a real part of their marketing plan. But I know you got a couple other things going on too, so feel free to talk about those a little bit.
Sure. So Ted and I started Hangouts Made Easy. That was the first product we put together, and as it worked out, people to really be successful with Hangouts, they had to know Google Plus, and they had to know YouTube. So we said, geez, why don't we just do those two? So we ended up doing Plus Made Easy and Tube Made Easy. So we created 3 separate products, one on Hangouts, one on Google Plus, one on YouTube, and then now we're doing Hangcasting Made Easy. So we've got that just about done. That'll be done in the next week or so, and we're just moving to a new platform. So I will get you links once we get shifted over, probably about the end of the week.
Perfect.
And then, yeah, so we got those products, and like I said, they all play together. And then what we did is we found that, like I said, Hangouts were simple but not easy. So what we discovered were people reading through our course material, but they couldn't really get started. They were having some challenges with it. So even though we had a Google Plus community for each thing, and we tried to answer as many questions there as we could, we get them set up with practice buddies, and we did daily lessons, and we're doing a lot of stuff that I've never really seen anybody do with us. But when Ted and I started out, these were the stumbling blocks that we had, so we tried to alleviate them all for other people. So then we put a group coaching plan in place to go along with the courses. So it was like an extra upsell to it. And from that, people get the course material, and then they also have a Q&A session and an open office hour with Ted and I weekly. So it just kind of helped them along. And it was cool because we saw people getting results from our stuff. It's just unbelievable. The podcast set up, their YouTube channel, their artwork done, everything was just all set and ready to go. Some of them now doing membership sites and coaching of their own, and it's pretty cool. So we just decided for our A member, we just decided to set up a site called Made Easy Systems. So it's going to have all of our stuff that we've done and are developing in it. So we're getting that finished up. So I got a lot of stuff. I'm tidying up right now with a lot of different things. But
very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. There's the expert on Google Hangouts right there. Definitely something to look into. We'll talk a little bit more, and we'll probably get John on again if that's.
Sure.
Definitely. I know you're always asking. Let's do something. Almost every week you want to try and get me on, which is good. I just need to find the time. But yeah, we definitely need to. I think John's got great stuff there. He's been in Hangouts basically since it kind of came out, so a lot of good information. Ted's great too. I've had Ted on a couple different times as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it is great, and I think it's one of those things that's up and coming. I don't think it's overused yet. It's underutilized by a lot of people. I know in John's communities he's very helpful. He's a lot of questions going on, a lot of different markets too. So it's not just online marketing that
No.
This is in. It's self-help. There's a couple different things that you've got students in.
A lot of health, a lot of coaching, a lot of doctors, medical practitioners, alternative health. What else we got? Money, a lot of financial people.
Yeah. So there's lots of opportunity, not in just internet marketing, online marketing. There's different things we can do, but I think it's a huge tool it's out there, but it's not being utilized the right way by most.
Yeah,
and I think
true.
by getting all the tweaks and tips and ranking videos properly is definitely going to help you. So because I know in that, sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying we're starting to do some stuff now too, pushing kind of the outer limits of SEO with Hangouts. So we've been involved with a lot of testing of other people's software and things like that. So it's good. It's good. We get some good relationships going on with people we're really excited about.
Good. Very cool. Very
good
cool.
Stuff.
Very cool. Yeah, because you've integrated everything. There's lots of good tips and information in there. Lots of video training, lots of help. It's got a good community going on there, so that's good. So we're gonna wrap up. I'm gonna ask John one last question.
Uh-oh.
So if you had to start all over again with zero list, zero kind of nothing, what would be the first thing that you would do to get a subscriber on your list, or kind of first start kind of building your business from ground zero?
Now, ground zero, but I know what I know now?
Sure. If I was starting right now, if you were telling me where to start,
all right,
what would you suggest that I do? I have nothing right now. What would I do?
Well, content is king. So I'd have to say that Hangouts now would be like a key start to my business going forward, because I think they fit a couple of different roles. Easy content creation. You get people on your site, people are going to interact with a video a lot longer than they're going to be reading your article, because they're going to be watching a video. So you're going to have less people skidding off to go someplace else. They're going to hang out and watch the videos.
Mm-hmm.
Everything about this makes it a perfect place to start. You've got the ability to do affiliate promotions. You've got the ability to promote yourself. People see you on video, so they know, like, and trust you faster, and you can bring them into your list. And you can put videos up anyplace. So it's really, knowing what I know now, I'd have to say that I'm in a really key position. And this is what I try to express to people is that you can't beat this for creating content, creating products. It's just a great platform. It's free to use, and then you can just move up in it as you go along to then do webinars, and everything is here for you. So
I think
it's kind of
that's
an all-encompassing process,
yeah. I think you kind of nailed it there. If you kind of by doing videos, getting it out there, all the stuff that we talked about already. If you think about it, you want to brand yourself. You want people to know who you are, and you want to look kind of like an expert,
Yeah.
fast, which is tough to do, and get things ranked. This kind of covers all those. So everyone sees my face. So there's the branding.
You can get
I can
seen with
talk to
other
people.
experts.
Yeah, you either interview or by getting whatever content it is and
Yeah.
making it your own and getting that out there and teaching people. You look like the expert. And
Yeah.
by having a tool that's not word driven, it's visual. You can see it. To be able to talk through. Here's how I set up my blog. That's huge to a lot of people that don't understand that. Where you can show them that, so you look like an expert real fast. I think that's a great place to start because everything is right there, and like you said, it's free to get started. All you need to do is sign up for Google, and everything's right there.
And on top of it, you can upscale into a group coaching program from Here Easy, because you got the perfect platform for group coaching, and you also have the perfect platform for person-to-person selling, which is what I use it for all the time too. So I'll be constantly in a hangout with somebody saying, "Hey, yeah, let's get you in our next class," and we're ready to go, because it's just everything is here that you need. There's just nothing missing. So I mean, if you could set this up, and then you start to learn a little bit about membership sites, and then bring an autoresponder into the picture, and push things around social media so you're interacting with people where they live. You got an unbeatable package here.
Yeah,
and,
no, I agree.
I can't really express it enough,
And you know what? As we were talking about before, because like I said, I'm developing another product that I got going on with training and teaching and list building. I think this is going to be actually part of that. I wasn't even thinking about this until we just spoke about it, which will definitely be a part of it, and how to drive that back to a autoresponder. Yeah. But I think I think it's a great starting point for sure.
And if I can add one more thing on top of that,
I guess I'll let you add one.
I'd say one of the, and we were talking about this beforehand, and I'd say, and I got this idea from Jason Fledlian, is one of the things we miss out on a lot, and it's kind of key, is like a free membership, and being able to have people logging in. You can put offers in your free membership. You can do a lot of stuff there, so that yes, it's a membership, but you still have things going on. They have to log into it. They're not going to lose it. It's hard to get people to. It's hard to list build and get people to actually grab things that they can consume. So you're going to see me do a lot more of that kind of membership delivery, list building thing.
Yeah, I think that's a good point too. I mean, we all talk about getting people on our list and being able to email them all the time, which is important. Mm-hmm. But I think the membership site thing is the concept is very important as well. You're driving an action, which is you want them to do in an email anyways. But if you get them coming back to a site every day or every couple days, they're engaged, they want to learn more, they're more likely to purchase more things through you as far as your programs. Plus, they're going to appreciate what you're driving to them as well.
Yeah, it also gives you a lot of leverage to do easy bonuses for things, because we'll constantly do little extra promotions. We can have the product developer come on and do a special webinar with us. It gives you that ability to do lots of cool things for bonuses, and it's good for the developer of a product too, because they get seen in a different light that maybe they would be uncomfortable being in by them on their own.
Yeah, true. And then they got a piece of content that you can use too. Say, hey, I was just interviewed, or I just did this, or it's a free training video that we did together. But no, I definitely agree. The membership site is something important that a lot of people are afraid to do, because I think they think it's very complicated. But I mean, with WordPress and all these plugins and
not complicated at all.
It's not complicated at all, and you can get up and running within probably a couple hours, really. It's just a couple plugins, and then it's just designing your site. But there are other
Right.
things other than WordPress as well, like you said, a member, and there's a couple different things that way. But yeah, it just locks down your information. I
Mm-hmm.
used that Rapid Action Profits for a while there too, which I still
Yeah.
use, and there's a membership plugin there that's real easy.
Mm-hmm.
So there's lots of tools there. So I think that's, starting out, I think, you want to build your list. Video is a huge thing that will drive out a big amount of traffic. So I think
Yeah.
we touched on pretty much everything.
I think
Um,
so. Not much we left out, I don't think.
no, lots more that we can touch on for sure. But for tonight's video, I think we're good.
Yeah.
Interview, we're good because I think we got
Shared a
lots
lot
of
of
good stuff.
gold. A lot of
And
gold there.
there is a lot of gold there. There is. And then we just need to make sure action is key, right? So I
Yeah,
think
it
the most
really is.
important thing is, and I know you touched on it and said, Hangouts they're easy, but you need kind of a little bit of practice at them.
Simple
But I
but
think
not easy.
at the same time, I think you just need to get out there and do it.
That's right.
Don't be afraid to just try it and get out there, put your face out there, because you'll eventually get better. You'll start off with a couple of people seeing your videos, and then there'll be thousands of people watching your
Yeah.
videos.
And don't
Um,
not put your face out because the face is key. I think the people who aren't getting their face out are missing out on something big. I really believe that they're missing out big. I mean, I understand that there's a certain fear factor with putting your face on the camera, but you're missing the boat with it if you're not.
no, I agree.
That's my feeling.
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
Yeah.
You just gotta kind of stick your neck out there, and I think there's more wins by putting yourself out there than not.
Much more wins by putting yourself out there than that.
Perfect.
And the application of Hangouts is not simple, which is one of the things that really keeps Ted and I in business. It's easy to learn. It's once you kind of get started, it's easy to learn them, but it's not easy to figure out the ways to produce the content and apply it and make that work out well. And that's kind of where we earn our bread and butter, is in that space.
Perfect. Well, I'd like to thank John for his time tonight.
Welcome.
There's some good marketing gold in there. And I'll just wrap it up by saying just get out there and get it done. And we'll talk to you next time.
All right. Bye for now.